you need to be doing video. That's recession proof, right? If you want your business to be recession proof, you need to start doing videos.
Welcome back, everyone. I've got Ivan Estrada with me, and we're going to be talking about YouTube and video content. It's his jam.
That's
right?
My jam.
Ivan,
exactly.
welcome, buddy. Where are you
Thank
coming
you so
in
much.
from?
I live and work out of Los Angeles. So I work at Douglas Elliman in Beverly Hills. I've been in the business now almost 14 years and producing video content over 13. So it's been a while.
That's a long time, man.
Yeah.
I love that. So you know my friend Peter Hernandez then.
I do know Peter Hernandez. He's one of my what do I call him? Because he's the president of Douglas Elliman, but he's a lot more than that. He's been a great mentor to me. He's like, I call him Yoda, and I hope that he doesn't get insulted by that, but he's just such a wise person, right? Like when you talk to him, you're like, are you 150 years old or what? Like, where do you get all this information? I love the guy. I love him very much. A lot of love.
He does have a lot of knowledge, man. You're in a good place. I love Douglas Elliman.
Same.
Great. So how'd you get started with video content and YouTube? Were you always shooting YouTube videos?
No. So as a kid, I was signed to a record company. So I was a musician. I was a singer. I was up on stage, even though I used to hate being in front of the camera because I was always anxious and nervous. And I used to be on Latin shows on Univision, like Sábado Gigante. I always loved being in front of the camera. And so when I got into real estate, I started at Coldwell Banker. I thought, wait, I can do this video thing. No one's really doing it right now. Like there was not many people at all. And I thought, why don't I just give it a shot? And I grabbed a camcorder. I propped it up in the top roof of my apartment complex in West Hollywood. And I just started producing content. And I wanted it to be different because I just didn't want to talk about interest rates and the market. Like I wanted to make it fun. So I started talking about lifestyle and technology and design. And I would do it at different areas of Los Angeles. So I'd go to Santa Monica and then go to the pier until I got kicked off. And then I would go to the Grove until the security would come in and tell me to leave or ask them for a permit. And so I just kept doing it every month, even though my manager at the time said, you're wasting your time. You need to cold call. You need to door knock, which I was doing all of that. But I just thought there's a huge opportunity here. And there was no Instagram. Facebook for video wasn't really a thing. And it was just YouTube. And even though at the beginning it was like 40 people watching, it was 40 more people that I could kind of leverage myself, right? Like duplicate myself and send out the message to 40 more people at that time. And I just, kind of just kept going. And I started just doing the real estate minute, which I've been doing for a really long time. And then I started doing community videos. I mean, we had the drones and the helicopters. I mean, we went all out. And then I did this desk video where during the pandemic, I took my desk all around Los Angeles and took photos in front of these big monuments all over LA. They became my postcards. Now I'm doing a Latin version called Real Estate Cafecito, which I'm kind of integrating real estate with my Latin roots and also my singing. So there's like a little jingle at the end that I sing that I thought, hey, why not add everything that I'm good at? Because people know me as the real estate singer guy. And I just keep doing it because I love it. And I mean, I always tell agents, like, you need to be doing video. Like video is the only thing that's recession proof, right? If you want your business to be recession proof, you need to start doing videos. And I've been training people in my office. I mean, I have my own course, which comes out in a month called Brand with Video. It's been 2 years in the making where you actually get graded on all your videos. You're going module per module. I'm walking you through how to build a brand. And it's something that I wrote my book, Brand with Purpose. And this is, it's just been like a whole journey of mine, which now I'm like, this is my purpose, not just to be a real estate agent, but also to help out my people, my real estate agent people.
I love that, man. That's really cool. Where do you gravitate to when it comes to putting your video on social? Is it YouTube, TikTok, Instagram?
Everything. So whenever we shoot our content, we do horizontal and vertical. So we know that the horizontal is going to be for YouTube. It's going to be for Facebook because it's a different, I have a different, let's say, database, right? Because I look at all these different platforms as databases. So Facebook and YouTube get the horizontal version, and then TikTok, Instagram Reels, and Facebook Reels also get the vertical. Oh yeah, and then I forgot LinkedIn too. Like LinkedIn gets the horizontal as well because I've been getting so I get the most viewership off LinkedIn. And so we just kind of, we put the stories together, we put it on the wall, we market it using Facebook Business Manager, the Google Display Network. I upload customer lists of all the agents that I've worked with in the past, so that way they get to see my content. Because right now, if you upload any video onto any of these platforms, not a lot of people are going to see it, right? So it's kind of pay to play, and so you have to advertise for that.
Question on that. Are you uploading directly into it, or are you grabbing the YouTube link and putting it there? What does that look like when you're talking about LinkedIn or Facebook?
So on Facebook Business Manager, I have a list of all the agents I've worked with and who've opted in to getting my newsletters. And so those customer lists get uploaded onto Facebook Business Manager and also the Google Display Network. And so that way, whenever I put out content, most likely, because it's not a for certain, most likely they'll be able to see my videos because I want to stay top of mind, right? Whenever it comes to referrals, because right now, maybe 5-7% of my following actually get to see my content unless they're engaging with me or liking my comments or commenting on each other or sending private messages, because the Instagram algorithm is always changing, and it's literally changing as we speak right now, because I have some friends at Instagram and it's changing again. So if you see your viewership and all of that go down, it's because of it. So this is the time to kind of accelerate that. Commenting, liking, kind of collaborating with other people, kind of what we're doing here and what we did on Instagram together. But it's, you just kind of have to continually push it out and be very, like, for me, it's like, I want to have like a kind of like a bullseye, right? Because if I just throw it out there and without kind of having a plan, it's not going to work. And Facebook Business Manager and the Google Display Network allow me to do that.
So question for you. What are your handles so we can follow you?
Yeah. So on Instagram, Ivan Estrada Properties. On YouTube, Ivan Estrada Properties. I'm also on Instagram for my brand width, for the course. It's the real brand width.
Nice.
And that's where we just daily, we're putting out videos of how to build your own personal brand, video tips on everything that I'm doing, I put out through at the real brand width. Cause I think there's, the more I share, I sometimes feel like the more I actually, I feel pressure to learn more so that we keep sharing, which actually helps me. And in helping myself, I get to help out my community. So at the real brand width, we're just constantly putting out everything that I do in real estate. Everything gets put on that site.
I like that. Real brand width, right?
Yeah. The real brand width. You've got some
great videos here.
Yeah. Thanks.
Let me check here. I'm going to take a look at your personal one first, right? And dude, I already watched some of these videos. They're really, I subscribe to your channel now, by the way.
Oh, so thanks.
You've got, for instance, this one with 19,000 views a year ago. That's
like the desk video that I told you about of going all over Los Angeles. Yeah.
Let's take a look at it really quick. I recognize the.
I'm a real estate agent, and Los Angeles is my office. So I thought, why not make it my office? These landmarks are more than markers to identify them. They show the countless dreams built the city.
Dude, that is so creative of you. I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Did you have to do a lot of that in the early morning or late at night?
Yeah. So we did it on the first week of the close down here in LA because of the pandemic. This is something I've dreamt about for many, many years. And to be able to pull that off, like if I had to close down Rodeo Drive like that, that would have cost me $50,000 in getting a permit.
Yeah.
And so there was something I always wanted to do. And when it happened, my business coach said, Ivan, remember that project we've been wanting to do for years? This is the time. And I thought, wait, what if I get arrested? I told my parents about it. My parents, being Mexican that they are, they're like, you're crazy. You're going to get arrested. You're a brown guy. Don't do it. I was like, Mom, I was like, I'm fine. But we actually, we did it, and we got in trouble a couple of times, but it ended up, those pictures, which I will never forget, in that video content, like we're never going to be able to see LA like that ever again. Those became my postcards to all my neighborhoods that I work in. So, while everyone else is getting these, postcards of saying, hey, just sold, just listed, this is like me in their community in front of an icon. And then in the back, I'll have all like my just listed, my just sold. So they know it's my postcard.
Dude.
And those became like my video books, all my listing presentations. I mean, it kind of became the thing of like, oh, Ivan is the guy, the desk video. And clients were like, look, I'm not very artsy. I don't get it, but it shows that you really have guts. And for someone who's willing to do that during that time, shows me that they have the courage to do other things and think outside of the box. And so I'm going to hire you as my agent.
That makes sense, man. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So question in regards to processes. When you're shooting this long form video, does that video get diced up into smaller pieces and then placed everywhere else? Tell me about that process.
It does. So what we do, and I think this is a good tip for everyone, is I shoot one day every 2 months. And so usually like 2 weeks before the day that I shoot is when I start putting together content, putting together what I want to talk about. I send it to my videographers and my editors. And one day every 2 months, we shoot a ton of content, just one whole day. I don't do anything but do that. Why that's so important is, as a real estate agent, stuff comes up, we have to put out fires constantly. And I didn't want to be an excuse of like, oh, I couldn't do a video this week because I got super busy or life got crazy. I shoot about 3 months of content at a time. And so we shoot long format. And what we do is that long format, my editor and my videographer, like they know exactly what I want. And this is obviously when I first hired them, we sat down, we talked about it. We went into detail and I said, this is what I want. These are my expectations. Can you pull it off? Right? Because I don't want to have to go back and forth like, hey, edit this or edit that. I don't like this. I don't like that. We kind of built a system and I said, this is what I want. Just replicate it every time. And they're very smart and they were able to do it. And so we'll record longer content. And from that longer content, we'll split it up, right? We'll shred it into little pieces. So they'll give me, this is your horizontal. This is your vertical. This is for TikTok, right? Because there's no music in it. And this one is with the music in it for your other stuff. And they literally send it to my assistant, and my assistant through Facebook Studio, which I don't know if anyone uses Facebook Studio, incredible. Everything gets uploaded there. And for 3 months, it's just going out automatically while I just continue doing Ivan stuff, right? Selling real estate, going on listing appointments, going on buyer appointments. So there's no excuse to say, I don't have time to do video. It takes time, right? You have to find the right people and find a process that works for you. But trust me, once you get it going, it's literally, you could probably do it 4 times a year, set 4 days a year, which I don't think it's not that much time. And you have video content for a whole year.
Dude, that's so true. For me on the editing side, finding the right editors was so tough for me. And now we have a whole bunch of them, and a lot of them are virtual. What about you? What does the editing staff look like for you? Is it all local? Is it all spread out? What is that?
It's not. That's a good question. So for the stuff that I do, that's like the normal Ivan Estrada property stuff. Those are people that are local. Those are people that I've worked with for a long time. But there's a lot of other things that I do that is not per se Ivan Estrada property stuff. I do a lot of public speaking. For example, I was just in Phoenix. I spoke for the National Association of Realtors. They had broker a summit, and I spoke about video and branding. Awesome. And so I had a whole 1 hour spot, And of course I can't, it's expensive to send out your own videographer and your own editor, right? So we went online, and, you know, we found someone who was virtual and who was able to kind of put this all together for us. And what I did, again, it's very important to make sure that you set expectations. And I said, look, this is what my stuff looks like. Let me send you some links on my YouTube. This is what I expect, right? Because they can show you things, and they might show you things like, you know, just like if you go on Tinder, right? People show you their best photos, right? And so I don't want to be catfish when I'm doing my video and my editing.
That's funny.
So I always say, look, here's my stuff. Let me look at your stuff, but can you replicate this? And I just need to make sure, right, that you can, right, that you could do it. Because sometimes, you know, you get people who say they can and they can't. And I've had that experience as well. And so again, it takes out like figuring out a process or a company that you feel comfortable with and who knows your expectations of when you want it. And that's been great for us. And as long as you set expectations up front, and also the expectations on, hey, when can I expect this video back? 3 days, a week? One day we went with a company. This was a long time ago. I wasn't experienced on hiring outsource people. Took them a month. Almost had a heart attack. Took them a whole month to edit one video that was 10 minutes. And so just really setting expectations up. I know I was having a coronary. You have to make sure you set expectations up front, and then say, once you shoot it, A, when can I get it back? And also B, if I'm not happy with the product, right? How many edited versions do I get without having to pay you again? Because that's also something that people need to look into, because you might pay someone $500 and they're like, oh yeah, each edit is 150. Sorry, we forgot to tell you that. And the first product is never the best product. I will tell you that, because you always have a vision in your head of what you want, and they have a vision in their head, and it's trying to be congruent and trying to put those two together.
That's a good point, man. I think along those lines, as the version that they send you is not the final version, I think just along the way, what we've noticed is we just keep on tweaking things, and we keep on sending them videos that we like, right? And we're like, hey, guys, try this part of this video, right? So I love that aspect of it. On our end, we've got a team of virtual editors and graphic designers, mostly all out of the Philippines. I do have 2 that are local here. And somebody asked a question. We use Virtudesk, so we've been using them for a while. But there's 2 questions for you. One's from Gina. How many original videos per week do you create, and do you put on social? Do you have an estimate count?
Yeah, so we shoot, I would say, like every 2 to 3 months. But there's 3 different kinds of videos that we put out every week. So there's the real estate minute, which comes out weekly. There's real estate cafecito, because the real estate minute is just me talking about a certain subject for 1 minute. Like last month, it was all about NFTs, the metaverse, and blockchain, and how that's going to change real estate, because it's coming. And so that's just a minute a week. And then at the end, we have like the whole kind of compilation, which goes on YouTube and Facebook. And then we have Real Estate Cafecito, which is, we went all around Los Angeles, and people all over LA asked me a real estate question, and I answered it from the studio live. And then we pop up like either a neighborhood video or something that, because I also, as much as I like the produced stuff, I also like the raw stuff. So I'll just do a reel or 2 just on the fly. Those are super easy to do, right? Those you could do it once a week from your desk, from your car, you know, with makeup on, makeup off, doesn't matter. And I do one of those a week at least. So at least 3 pieces of video content a week, 2 produced and 1 that's like raw, or 2 that's raw. But as long as you're doing something, I think that it doesn't matter. I think produce is great. I think I live in LA, and some people kind of expect it, right, in this market. But the real stuff is just as good. Like that is how you really build connection with people, when they kind of see you just, hey, this is me on a live, or me doing a reel. Those get a lot more likes and more engagement than my produced stuff. But the produced stuff is what gets me some of the bigger, higher end listings, because their representatives, their business manager, their lawyer, their advisors, they look at that. And so that kind of, sways them in a certain way of like, oh, this guy's professional, let's hire him. But you need both, right? You need to kind of show people
Such a good
both
point.
sides of you.
It's a really good point, man. It's a good question here. Someone says, love your 2022 design trends video. How can a starting realtor who doesn't have an editing team create videos just like yours? Do you recommend any video editing tools to start with? Somebody that doesn't have money to spend there.
Good question. So when I started editing my videos, I started using my Mac iMovie. You can get iMovie for your phone. That's like the easiest editing tool because literally you just have to kind of drag and drop. You could add music, you could add subtitles if you want. So iMovie is probably the best app that I would recommend where you can do it yourself. And also if you're doing reels or TikToks, I mean, you could literally just do it on the platform itself. But if you want to just record a couple of videos on your phone and edit them and do color correction and have transitions, literally an iMovie app on your phone is probably the easiest way to do it.
It's a great point, man. Very, very, very true. I love iMovie too. We use Viva Video as well. So you guys can compare those. Ken's asking, what's the biggest mistake you've noticed with videos posted by other real estate agents? And what's your best tip to improve their video content? It's a very generalized question, but just imagine a really crappy video.
I mean, I hate saying like, oh, like what mistakes other agents are making, because I feel like if you're at least doing something, like you're not making a mistake, right? As long as you're producing something, I like take my hat off to you, because you've got to be vulnerable, right? To get in front of a camera and do video, regardless if it's good or not. I mean, I think the only thing that I would say that I see that I maybe don't connect with as much is, don't try to memorize a script. That's what I would recommend. It's good to have a couple of talking points, but if you memorize something, and I can tell when someone does, it's very robotic and it completely kind of takes away from, I'm like, oh, I don't trust this person. I don't know why, but there's just something about it. Like, oh, they practiced it so much, or I could tell it was practiced. It goes back to that word of inauthenticity, right? It's just inauthentic. Because we're not robots, right? We're selling homes. It's a very emotional thing. It's a very heartfelt job that we do. So you got to talk from the heart. And when you memorize something, you're talking from up here, right? You got to talk from here. And so just getting down your points and knowing, this is what my coaches when I was a kid would always tell me, know what your intro is and know what you want people to take away from what you have to say, right? Those are the two most important, the starting point and the ending point, and everything in between will just fill in on itself. Just kind of have a general direction of what are the points that you want to hit, which there shouldn't be more than 3 points, because I think after more than 3 points, people get confused. Intro, 3 points.
True.
Yeah, because then it's sometimes, like it just kind of keeps going. So like having like a little intro of like, why are you here? Your 3 points of your message, and what do you want people to do? Right? What's the call to action? Do you want them to follow you? Do you want them to come and see your listing? Do you want them to visit your Instagram? Like, what is it that you want to do, or what's the message that you hope people take away from those 3 points?
That's good advice, man. I love that because it keeps you on track too. So you don't go off of on tangents as well.
Yeah.
Great point. All right. What are you looking forward to this year that you're going to implement, or at least try to implement, for your social with video?
So so with my videos, as much as it's like, I would say it's still me on a video, like my real estate, everything that I do, it's like 90% me, but there's like 10% that's not. And so one of my team members said, whenever you're here at the office or we have team meetings, we get a different version of you, which I think people would love. Would you be okay with just us recording you, right? Just recording you with your daily, with our meetings, with everything that we do, and cutting that up and putting it on social? Because they said, that's 100% Ivan. But on the real estate minute, real estate cafecito, everything that you do, we get 90% of you. And I feel like that 10%, even though it's only 10%, it really makes you stand out. It really allows me to connect with you. because there is no filter, right? There's no smoke and mirrors, because still, regardless, when I do my stuff in the back of my head, and this will happen for forever and ever, because I feel like a lot of people get stopped from doing videos because they're like, oh, well, I get in my head if I'm not good enough, or people are not going to watch, like all the negative self-talk. I still get that, right? It's never going to go away. All I do through time has been to silence it or lower the volume as much as I can. But that little negative mindset, is still in the back of my head. And so I'm still trying to kind of like, show up for the camera and be like, hey, everybody, how's it going? This is Ivan. Like, there's still 10% that's missing. And that 10% they can capture with just recording me when I'm not even noticing the cameras there. So we're going to be implementing a little bit more of that and just kind of cutting it up and putting it on Instagram. And, Gary Vee does that a lot. And I love that, right? It's raw. It's more raw and it's like unfiltered. And I like that. And I want to do more of that.
I like that, dude. That's really good. That's actually a really good catch off of Gary Vee. We were talking to D-Rock about that the other day. So
yeah, he's a killer.
Makes a lot of sense. Dude, great job. I love your content, by the way. And where is it that you want people to follow you? So I can just type it in here.
Yeah. So people
Instagram?
can go to ivanestrada.com. So that's where you'll find pretty much everything that I do, from, my book, Brand with Purpose, which is at Target, Barnes & Noble, Walmart. I mean, it's at 50 stores across the country. So the branding, it's literally my journey of branding, literally like step A to step Z on how to build a personal brand. And then my course, Brand with Video, which is the first business branding real estate course out there. And it's very interactive. I spent 2 years of my life putting this together with the same producers of Sell It Like Sirhan. So it's the same people who built Sell It Like Sirhan. And I think that's going to help a lot of real estate agents. And like I said, the way to be recession proof is content. Create videos, content. The more content, I think content is obviously king, and the real estate agents who are going to continue being successful with a recession or not are the ones who are continually putting out, value added content for the consumer.
I love that, dude. Thank you for being on. I put your link there. Everybody can go and grab that, visit, get the book. I just saw the book. It's on Amazon too. So good job on that, dude. That looks great. Your site looks really, really nice.
Thank you.
Great job on your success. And I can't wait to see what this year brings for you.
Same. Well, thank you guys for having me. This was awesome.
Thanks for being on, man. And thank you everybody for coming in.